This is Odin's Wolf Survival. I'm in the rolling hills by the bluffs of Missouri today, and we're going to be making cordage from daylilies. It's not something that I normally would have done. I tried it out of sheer boredom. Um, Granted, I haven't done a video for quite some time, and that was due to a rather complex problem that I didn't like. So now we're back at it. Things are going the way they should be. But to do these, you want to collect the dead leaves from like last year. It works very well. They're usually, if they're dried out, to twist these up, you want to soak them in water a little bit, but you can see the fiber in them. And I don't bother to strip out the excess material because everything's so thin. It doesn't really need it. And this makes a good fishing line. What does happen is if you leave it twisted up and it starts drying up, it'll get kind of brittleish, but all you have to do is get it moist or a little wet and it'll go right back to being a nice, flexible, pretty damn strong line for flower leaves is basically what this amounts to. Okay.
Go.
Okay, what we have here is a bunch of I collected a bunch of the daylily leaves from last year, and snatched a container with water. It could be anything. You could be sitting in a creek. You just want to have it to where if it's running water that it's not washing away your material. You want to soak it enough that it's flexible, because this stuff when it's pretty dry is kind of brittle. And then to make the cordage, it's just like everything else. You start twisting. And I'm right-handed. I can do it both ways. I got to think about left hand because my left hand's an idiot. But, so you twist this. I twist it counterclockwise with my right hand, or clockwise with my right hand initially, and this is one of those that when it's wet, it's hard to sit back and twist it until you start getting it started. It'll start forming a loop back on itself. So you pinch it there. So you got two legs out, and you twist clockwise and then pull it back over one time counterclockwise. Twist it up tight, and you'll be able to tell by feel fast enough. Clockwise and counterclockwise, and then move your pinch grip up to that half a twist. And you keep doing it. And once it's started, it goes pretty fast. It's easier if you can get out on the ends of these sometimes and get the twist started, especially with these flatter leaves, and wet your fingers. It makes it a little grippier. And there's your cordage. You can make this any length. When you get down to here, what I do is you take another one, and I run the small end back over itself like this and bring it in. It'll leave a little bit of a thicker spot depending on how long you want it. But when you twist it back in, that makes the cordage very strong. It's not thick enough to where in most cases it's going to mess with anything. And this is strong enough to fish with. You wouldn't think so, but it's a lot stronger. I haven't done a weight test on it, but it's hard to break. So that's all it is. You keep going. There's faster ways to do it, like rolling it down your leg. But if you're learning, if you already know the technique of rolling it down your leg, you'll be able to do it with this. If you're just learning, I don't recommend that right out of the gate, because that's more of a pain in the yak than anything, especially when you're dealing with shorter pieces. But that makes a good cordage. And once you get to this point, if you need something heavier, you twist out however long you need this. And I've twisted 25-30 feet of this, just adding in. And then you can take that and double that line up and make cordage that's twice as thick. And what I'm told, and I haven't exactly done weight tests to check it, is when you twist it into cordage and twist it into pairs like this, it'll add 40% of the strength to the two pair individually. So you'll have whatever weight this will put with, and another 40% roughly is what they figure for cordage, is as I understand it, which makes some really strong cordage. The only thing you'd have to do is, if you're going to use this for fishing, you could put a gorge hook in here, or make a bird bone hook and use like pine pitch glue, tie it and glue it on, and that'd be as strong as you need. And usually on line, fishing line, I only make it like 2 feet long or so, because it's easy to twist up 2 feet of this, and all you need is a stick to hang it out over the water with your bait. But this is making Daylily cordage. It's easier than it looks. It looks easy, but once you start doing it, it is actually easy. It's just the trick, the repetitive motion of, if you're right-handed, it's clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise. And left-handed, it's pretty much the opposite. And I have to sit and think with left-handed, because like I said, I'm like way right-handed, and my left hand's an idiot. I can do it both ways, because sometimes when you're teaching it, sitting across from somebody, they're watching you. If you're doing it left-handed, they see it from their, first-person perspective, so they can actually see what you're doing without trying to turn it in their head. That's all there is to it. Nice and simple. Thank you for watching. Have a glorious day.